from the heart of the nation, the Lee Williams Big Band Reunion. 30 years ago this exact weekend, the Lee Williams Band closed. The musicians and vocalists have come back for this last of the one-night stands. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to introduce to you the man who led one of the most popular dance bands to ever play the Midwest. Here he is, our dear friend, and once again our maestro, Lee Williams.
Love you. You know, you can travel a lot of distance. You can be tired, but when you get on the bandstand and the theme song comes on, it's all over. You feel good again, ready to go. We're going to play our theme, a few bars, one more time. Blue World.
During the times we call the Big Band era, these men were members of one of the most popular traveling bands in Midwestern America, the Lee Williams Big Band. They had emerged in the aftermath of the Great Depression, when big bands had become an important part of everyday life. Big band swing had done the impossible. It had stolen the attention of most Americans and offered a diversion from hard times. It fell upon territorial bands like Lee Williams to take this new music to small Midwestern towns. It was during the war years and immediately following that the Lee Williams Band enjoyed their greatest success. They had fans in many states, and those who went to the shows might spot a big-name band leader or celebrity dropping in to hear the local stars. For many in the band, it would be remembered as the time of their lives. After the band's breakup in 1952, many of these old friends lost touch until Lee Williams brought them together at this reunion in which they would perform together as a band one last time.
Leave them there because they go different places and things are in the way. A few of us met in the summer of 1981 and thought we ought to see if the fellows wanted to get together one more time before the mortality tables caught up with us. I can't recall exactly, but I believe we've had 5 people die or become disabled since that meeting last July. So we sent a letter out, and hardly an exception. Everybody wanted to come in, so we did it.
Hey, how are you?
The band was normally 12 to 13 people. The difference here at the reunion is that it's a bigger band. We planned it that everyone that came that was able got to play in the reunion band.
I got him.
We named it about right when we said the last of the one-night stands, goodbye forever and farewell, because a lot of these fellows won't see each other again. I would rather do this band than the other one because it's got skirts in it.
Well, you won't be able to play either one of those medleys without a rehearsal.
I know that.
Those are fairly demanding.
Yeah, and that's the request, too. Dirk was with my band for years. When he first joined the band, he played trombone. Ultimately, he became a arranger for the band. And as he got to know me and what I wanted, he took over musical direction of the band. Dirk is still in the music business. I've been out of the music business 30 years.
Go on. But definitely give me a good frontal attack.
As a result, it's nice to have somebody with current qualifications to shape up the band.
Okay? All right. Bar 1. Here we are.
music is a great release. Some people like to hit the tennis ball or the golf ball to release certain things that build up. Music is a great help.
It's an opportunity to fulfill a creative need, because even though you're singing a song that someone else wrote, you still have an opportunity to embellish with your own style, and that is an opportunity to be creative.
Back at bar 25. Okay? Yeah, I know. I got the same trouble with trumpet players all over the world. They miss entrances because they're jacking around.
Everybody was playing better than we had anticipated. They even let me play a little bit the first day when they needed a drummer for a while. My parents tell me when I was 3 or 4 years old, all I wanted to do was play a drum, and they got me one. As early as I could, I started playing with the school bands, and I think from the time I was probably 15 years old, my ambition was to be a band leader.
Inspired by the success of Benny Goodman, Glenn Miller, and the kings of the era, the Lee Williams Band set their own sights on success by taking their dance music to as many places as they could, playing 3,542 one-nighters over their 14-year history.
It meant you were going to play at least six nights a week, sometimes weeks at a time, 7 nights a week. You played and played and played and played and played.
In fact, they played so often that in 1943 they set a record for consecutive performances by playing every day for a year with only 3 nights off. The lifestyle of a traveling orchestra was fast-paced, but it was hardly glamorous. While the Tommy Dorseys and Duke Ellingtons were traveling first class in planes and trains, the Lee Williams Band made their journeys in a sleeper bus, a 30-foot trailer equipped with beds.
I remember one time when I was a driver, we pulled into some little town, I can't remember where it is, and I took the electric plug, would plug into the ballroom and wrapped it around the bus to just get out of the way so people wouldn't trip over it. Then I realized, well, I got to take the bus down and have some work done on it, so I come out of the place and I got in the bus and I drove it off and pulled the porch off the building.
Quarters were cramped, the pay was negligible, and a stable home life next to impossible. The road was their home.
And we would drive anywhere from 200 to 500 miles for the next job. We maybe didn't even know where we were going. We'd get up and say, well, where are we? And we would go to Milton and Minto and Minot, North Dakota. We were getting people who were never given a chance to be exposed to big bands. But we tried to give good music, dance music.
A couple of the boys in the band had the misfortune of losing their eyesight. Paul Sweet is one of them. Paul Sweet is doing the clarinet solos.
I don't play a lot anymore. I still play once in a while, but I never want to put it down completely. Once you do it, if it's in you, I guess you never forget it.
The story has it that when Bugs was playing with the band, of course he wears a hearing aid, but in those days the only hearing aids were ones with a button in the ear and a cord. I used to wear it in his pocket of his shirt.
When someone scratched his forehead, that would be the signal. And everyone would stop talking at that point, just like this. They would say, and Don then would think that the batteries in his hearing aid had gone dead, and he would, of course, there were much bigger hearing aids then that would fit in the pocket. He'd be down here. They would do this to him often enough that it was a lot of fun, but not too often that he wouldn't catch on.
And I really knew that isn't that terrible? That's awful.
It's a terrible thing to do to the guy, you know. But good sport and a hell of a drummer. Good drummer, yeah.
And the crowd got absolutely plastered. And the band took intermissions every hour, and eventually they got absolutely plastered. In fact, they didn't finish the job. Yeah. We played up till about 12:45 and never made the last 15 minutes. We just quit. Got everybody in the band bus in bed, and then Al Hudson and I loaded things up and drove on to the next job. And you were there. You remember that, Jack?
No.
I took a poke at some baritone saxophone player one night that was drunk and disorderly to shut him up. Managed to dislocate a knuckle and played valve trombone left-handed for the next month with this one in a cast, and the guy didn't even remember it the next morning. That's how effective it was.
He had a dime. That was all it took. You know, you could live on that for a whole day. And really, there wasn't much money, but as long as you were playing, that was the main thing.
Sure. We could tell whether the soup bowl was pretty good, and you could get enough ketchup to put in it and fill it up a little bit, and all the crackers were free. You didn't have to worry too much. And you could always go back to sleeper bus.
There was about 2 weeks in the